Hello, friends. Good evening. Today, my topic of discussion is cyber crimes and security. In this growing digital age, we have become more dependent on the internet for many of our daily activities, be it communicating with friends, searching for information, doing banking transactions, availing online services, finding job, finding life partner, even running entire business. The internet touches almost all aspects of our lives. There are both advantages and of course disadvantages of using internet. Every day we see new cyber crimes being reported. So government agencies are equipped to deal with cyber crimes, but it is our prime duty to take precautions to remain safe. It is a proven fact that if we are aware about how various cyber crimes are committed, then it helps us to protect ourselves and our family from such frauds. Research have found that almost 90% of cyber attacks are caused by human error or negligence. So if we are able to protect ourselves, if we are able to take proper safeguards and precautions, we will be able to avoid almost 90% of these cyber crimes. That is a very important thing. India ranks third among nations facing most cyber threats. USA ranks first, followed by China at second spot. In India, UP is on the top with the highest incidence of cyber crimes committed, followed by Karnataka and Maharashtra. Preventing cyber crimes by creating awareness is the main objective of this session. Friends, you must agree to it that if we know what type of cyber crimes are being committed, if we are aware of this, of course, we can avoid these crimes in a better way. So let us understand the meaning of cybercrime first. Cybercrime, as such, this word is not defined in any legislation or in any act or rule book. So let us go by dictionary meaning of cyber. It is relating to computers, information technology, and virtual reality. Cyber crimes are offenses relating to computers, information technology, internet, and virtual reality. Cyber criminals often commit crimes by targeting computer networks or devices. Cybercrime can range from security breaches to identity theft. Let us classify these cyber crimes. These can be classified into three ways. First one is cyber crimes against persons. Second, cyber crimes against property. Third is cyber crimes against government. So let us discuss first cyber crime against person. First in this category is phishing. Phishing is an act of sending fraudulent email that appears to be from a legitimate source, for example, like a bank, recruiter, credit card company. And it is an attempt to gain sensitive personal information or bank account details from the victim. If the victim gets trapped in this type of phishing, he may lose his money because the money may get transferred from his bank account. Another form of cybercrime is the wishing and smishing. So let us understand what the wishing is. Wishing is, in this case, telephone call is received asking for certain vital information and bank account information. If user get trapped and he provides the information, the money may get lost from his account. It may get transferred to the cyber criminal's account. And smishing is, in this case, text message is received stating to click on certain URL or website to provide certain information. The moment user provides the information or bank account details, the amount may get transferred from his account. It is again a form of cyber crime. Then another type is lottery fraud. We all are aware of this. Certain emails or you may say messages are received stating that congratulations, you have won a lottery amounting to so much of amount, at the same time asking for certain information about the bank account details. The moment you provide all the sensitive information, you may lose your money that may be in your bank account. And another form is credit debit card frauds. Then another is job related frauds. In this case, emails are received by the candidates congratulating that that candidate has received an offer for appointment in some reputed company and in place, and asks for certain vital information, bank account information, and certain amount is asked as token registration money so that letter of offer can be sent to the user. If a person gets trapped and transferred this amount, the amount is lost because this is a fake letter. Then another form of cybercrime is cyber stalking. This means that repeated use of electronic communications to harass or frighten someone. Another form is cyberbullying. This is sending, posting, sharing negative, harmful, or false content about someone else. Of course, the intention is to cause embarrassment or humiliation. Then another form is impersonation. It is an act of pretending to be another person for the purpose of fraud. This is a cybercrime, punishable. Then there is loss of privacy, transmission of obscene material, harassment with the use of computer. These are the other forms of cybercrime against a person. So let us discuss another category, cybercrime against property. First one is unauthorized computer trespassing. Well, trespassing is unauthorized access to some property or some computer or some network. When any criminal or offender accesses unauthorizedly computer network, computer system with the intention to harm, it is called unauthorized computer trespassing. Next category is computer vandalism. It is deliberately damaging or destroying computer systems. This is called computer vandalism. Another form is transmission of harmful programs by way of virus, worms, and trojans, etc. Then another cybercrime is committed by siphoning of funds from financial institutions. In this case, criminals hack the websites of the financial institutions or hacks the systems, rather entire server, and transfer the amounts from another account to their account fraudulently. Then another cybercrime is stealing secret information and data from the computers. So let's discuss third category, cybercrime against government. Hacking of government websites. Often we hear that the hackers have hacked the websites of certain government departments, I say like Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Finance, and they delete the original data and instead of that place their own data. So this is a form of cybercrime that is punishable under the Information Technology Act and Indian Penal Code. Another form of cybercrime is cyber extortion. This type of crime takes place when any computer program or virus or worm or trojan or something like that is planted in the computer systems, and certain type of blackmailing is done, asking for certain amount of money or some other consideration to pay to the criminals, otherwise they will damage or destroy the computer system. It is a form of cybercrime and it is called cyber extortion. Then another form is cyber terrorism. This is the politically motivated use of computers and information technology to cause severe disruption of widespread fear in society. Recently, we have heard and we have seen in the news reports also that the Chinese hackers are targeting the US servers and US labs database to destroy the data. This is an example of cyber terrorism. Some other cyber crimes are described here, like cyber attacks using infected mobile applications. Certain mobile applications are used to lure the users when they download that it may infect the mobiles. Then another form is denial of service attacks, DDoS. This type of attack occurs when multiple systems flood the bandwidth of resources of target system. This happens, let us say the website or web server has a capacity of handling 1,000 or lakhs of simultaneous connections. But instead of that, cyber criminals flood the web server with so much of request, with so much of resources that happens, that make it happen to crash the server. This is a denial of service attack, DOS. Then another form is hacking. Another type of cybercrime is virus attacks. And these virus attacks can be done through external devices or by downloading files from untrusted websites. And it can also be done by installation of malicious software. And this can cause slowing down the computer. This can lead to data corruption. This may delete the data. This may delete the entire softwares and operating system and all the data, whatever is in the computer system. Then another form of cybercrime is logic bombs. So it is practically a set of instructions secretly incorporated into program so that if particular condition is satisfied, they will be carried out, usually harmful effect. They can destroy the data. I recall a few years back, a certain type of virus or program, malicious program was implanted on certain computers. Computer was working in a perfectly in a normal way, but on the date of 1st January, all of a sudden, all data was lost, black screen emerged, and a message flashed, Happy New Year. This was, of course, a virus, a sort of logic bomb. Then another type of crime is email bombing. It happens when criminals send large volumes of email to an address in an attempt to overflow the mailbox, thereby crashing the server. Recently, Ministry of Home Affairs Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center has issued alerts regarding coronavirus email spam campaign to spread emoted malware. A new spam email campaign has been identified that is using coronavirus related information as a lure to infect people with emoted malware. Primarily, it is a banking trojan. Then second type of warning that has been issued is Fleeceware cyber frauds. It is a free trial apps. Fleeceware is a new form of app-based cyber fraud that tricks users into paying excessive amounts of money for basic app functionality like image editing, horoscope, QR code. So in this case, practically users are lured to make more and more money by using these apps, but basically these apps are nothing but the frauds just to spy on your mobile phones and to steal the vital data so that they can commit a fraud against you. So one should be beware of these type of apps. Only 2 days back, Ludhiana police issued a warning. It placed uh, information on the Facebook. A screenshot of that information is being shared with you. It is appearing on your screen that you can see that. In this case, Ludhiana police has warned that beware of cyber criminals. It has been informed that cyber criminals are innovating new methods and some people are getting these kind of messages, which are all fake messages. In this case, messages coming to the users with the wording that your challan number so and so for vehicle number so and so have total challan amount of rupees 500. For online payment of challan, please visit echallanparivahan.in, this website. But this is a fake link, fake website. Real website is echallan.parivahan.gov.in. Only difference is dot. Dot is placed e-challan, then dot, then parivahan. So apparently it seems the same. If user mistakenly clicks that link and make the payment, that money will get transferred to cyber criminals, not to the government. So one should be aware, one should cross check before making such payments. So let us discuss legislations governing cybercrimes. Means what are the rules and regulations prepared by the government to deal with these cybercrimes. So basically these laws that penalizing cybercrimes are of three types. First is Indian Penal Code. We call it IPC. Then there is Information Technology Act 2000. We call it IT Act. Then there are certain state legislations prepared by respective states. The main objective of the Information Technology Act 2000, which was incorporated in 2000, its main motive was to provide legal recognition for all electronic transactions. Before that, there was no recognition at all to the transactions that are done digitally. So this law provided legal recognition to the e-transactions. And another objective was to give legal recognition to digital signatures as a valid signature. And another motive was to give legal recognition to keeping account books in electronic form by bankers as well as other organizations. And other objective was to protect online privacy and stopping cybercrimes. So this act was enacted by the government, taking into account so many things, but it was criticized as draconian, and some people called it diluted or lenient. Their observation was that it didn't take into account harsh punishment for the cyber crimes. They asked for certain improvement, amendment in the act. So consequently, there were amendments in year 2008, and notable features of Information Technology Amendment Act 2008 are: first one is focusing of data privacy, then focusing of information security, defining cyber cafe, then defining reasonable security practices to be followed by corporate, then recognizing Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, and the other one was inclusion of additional cyber crimes like child pornography and cyber terrorism, and very important amendment that was made authorizing inspector to investigate cyber offenses instead of DSP earlier. What had happened in main enactment, that was Information Technology Act 2000, only DSP level of police was authorized to investigate the cyber offenses. But amendment was made in 2008, whereby inspector level police officer was also authorized to investigate the cyber offenses so that these offenses can be tackled in a better way. So friends, so far we have discussed various types of cyber crimes, modus operandi used by cyber criminals, and legislations that have been prepared by Government of India. So let us discuss certain cyber safety roadmap, a few suggestions. These suggestions are practically suggestions from the IT professionals, IT users, IT forums, so that certain amendments should be there in Act. So what are these suggestions? Let us discuss briefly. First one is revisiting current law of land such as IT Act, IPC with respect to emerging cases, crime and technology. So what it means is there are emerging cases of crime, and criminals are using certain different and innovative ways to commit certain offense. So there should be appropriate amendment in the Information Technology Act and IPC so that appropriate penalties or punishments can be given to these cyber criminals. So this type of amendment should be there. And another suggestion is setting up of cyber crime forensic laboratories in each state to address the challenge of delay in examination of case data. Another suggestion is setting up of cyber police cadre in the formal police recruitment system. This means that generally what happens in current scenario, in the case of police department, recruitment is done in a general way. Later on, certain officials are transferred to the cyber police crime investigation cell. So what happens that they are not specialized persons in this case. So suggestion is that at the time of recruitment itself, IT professionals should be recruited specifically to cater to the cyber police cadre cell. So that will be very important thing, and the government should implement that. That's our suggestion from our side. So let's discuss how to prevent cyber crimes. So far we have discussed types of cyber crimes, ways and methods adopted by the criminals. So let us discuss how to prevent these cyber crimes, what precautions we should take, what safeguards we should take so that crime can be avoided. No doubt that cyber security laws, cyber laws in India provide protection from cyber crime, but prevention is always better than cure. Therefore, one should take following steps for preventing a cyber crime. First one is Usage of secured website for online transactions. What it all means. Whenever we need to transact any bank transactions or any online transaction, we should make sure that site is secured. Site secured means it indicates HTTPS. It starts with HTTPS. Let us, we intend to use the site of ICC Bank to make some certain transactions. It will, the name of the site will begin with HTTPS, not HTTP only. This S indicates secured website. So make sure whenever you intend to make any banking transaction or any online transactions, you should use HTTPS sites only. These are the secured websites. Then unsolicited text messages. We all get text messages from unknown number. One should be very cautious and try to avoid responding to text messages or automated voice messages from unknown number. Another precaution is always ignore an advertisement if it claims that you can earn money with little or no work, or you can make money on an investment with little or no risk. It could be a scam. These offers seems too good to be true and you may end up losing money. Then another safeguard, download on the mobile phone. Download everything on the mobile phone from a trustworthy source only, like Google Play. Then rating and feedback. Always check for sellers rating and feedback of customers for the sellers whenever you intend to buy online, so that you may know that the seller is genuine person. You may not get, you may not lose your money, right? Then another is personal information request. Everyone must have received a call or mail in which person on the other side asks for certain vital information like CVV, bank account details, and so on. So make sure you never respond to such emails or calls, because the banks or RBI never ask for this type of information. And another precaution is the use of a full service internet security suite, that is antivirus software. Always try to install antivirus software on your computers and your mobile phones as well. Another thing is use strong passwords, which should be a combination of alphanumeric, and you should also try to use some sort of characters, so that it should be very difficult to crack. It should not be the easy one to guess. Another thing is do not share your net banking password, one-time password, OTP, ATM, or phone banking PIN, CVV number with any person, even if he claims he is from bank. But never ever share this type of information with any official, any person, so that you may not get trapped. Another precaution is manage your social media settings in respect of Facebook, Insta. Keep your personal and private information locked down. Never reveal too much, because this thing can be used against you. Then avoid using third-party extensions, plugins, add-ons from your web browser, as it may secretly track your activity, steal your personal details. Then very important thing for parents is talk to your children about the internet. You can teach your kids about acceptable use of the internet without shutting down communication channels. Make sure they know that they can come to you if they are experiencing any kind of online harassment and stalking. You should have comfort level with the children, so that they can approach you, they can come to you if they are experiencing any kind of harassment online. It's a very important thing, so that their exploitation and fraud can be avoided at appropriate time. Know what to do if you become victim. So far we have seen various types of frauds. We try to do various precautions, we do various safeguards. What if you become a victim? Then where to report a cybercrime? So in this context, first of all, you should visit the nearest police station immediately and report your complaint, stating the complete details. Then you should also report cybercrime complaints online by visiting National Cybercrime Reporting Portal. This portal can be accessed at cybercrime.gov.in. In this portal, there are two sections. One section is relating to crimes against women and children, and another section is to report other type of cyber crimes. And in Punjab, Cybercrime Investigation Cell has been formed at Mohali. It is situated at Phase 4 SAS Nagar, Mohali, and it exclusively deals with case of cyber crimes. Email and mobile number is appearing on your screen. You can note down that thing. And another website has been prepared by the government of India to provide latest advisories regarding cyber crimes, uh, which is cert.in.org.in, and this address is also being shown on your screen. You can note down that thing. So friends, uh, we have discussed various types of cyber crimes, modus operandi used by cyber criminals, legislation and regulations in India, and certain precautions and safeguards that one should take and to report the cyber crime to the appropriate authorities or the portal if anyone is becomes a victim. So that's all for now. Thank you very much for hearing. Be vigilant and stay safe. Thank you.